Now we're going to work with subtraction. Subtraction is always just a little bit trickier, so I wanted to take a little time with this to explain it, so hopefully it'll make sense. We're going to go back to our chip method and use that here, and we'll see how that goes. Okay, so say you have 5, remember positives are blue, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 positives, and now you're going to take away 3 of those positives. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 3 of them out. They're gone. Gone. What do I have left? Well, positive 2. Now we knew that. We knew 5 minus 3 was 2. But now we're going to go to some negative numbers. So let's look at this first one. You have 5 negatives, but you're going to take away 3 negatives. So I'm going to take 3 of those negatives out. And that's going to get me, what do I have left? I have negative 2. Now when we draw it that way, hopefully it makes some sense and you can think about that. In the next video, we'll show you the rule for the subtraction property and how we use that rule. Okay? All right. Now we're gonna start with, on the next one, we're gonna start with 5 negatives. And we're trying to take away 3 positives. We don't have any. We don't have 3 positives. So what we have to do is we have to put them in. So for every, you can't change what we're starting with, but for every positive, well, I'm sorry, let me write that a little differently. For every positive, I just have to put in a negative because then that balances it out, right? Okay, so I put in another positive, 2 more positives, and 2 more negatives. And I haven't changed the value then of what I've started with. I started with 5 negatives, and then I put in an equal amount of positives and negatives. Now, why am I doing that? Because I want to take out 3. I want to take away 3 positives. So now I can take out those 3 positives. They're out. And what do I have left? I have 4 negatives. I'm sorry, I have 8 negatives. Can't count. There you go. If you count them up, you have 8 negatives. What do you think about negative 5, negative 3, negative 8? That's a little advanced. That goes into the next section that I told you we'd talk about. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing on this last one with the chip method. We have 5 positives that we're starting with. We want to take away some negatives, but we don't have any negatives. So we're going to have to put in 3 negatives because we want to take those out. But then to counteract it, you've got to put in the positives. My pen's not changing. Now I have a problem. I fixed my pen. So I put in the 3 negatives, but I have to have 3 positives to counteract that, because I can't change that original value. So every time I have to put something in so that I can take it out, I've got to put in both a positive and a negative. Okay, that's probably the tricky part with the chip method. But now I have 3 negatives that I can take out, because that's what I want to do, is take out those 3 negatives. So there's my 3 negatives. They're going out. And now what do I have left? I have 8 positive. So 8. Okay. So we'll try it here on these next examples and see how we do. We have 6 positives. 6, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to take out 4 of them. So 4 of them are out, and that's going to leave us with a positive 2. Now the next one, we have 6 negatives. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And we're going to take out 4 negatives. Oops. There it is. And what do we have left? Negative 2. Now, we have 6 negatives on part C. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. But then we want to take away 4 positives. We don't have 4 positives, so we have to put those in. But for every positive we put in, we also have to put in a negative so that we didn't change our values here. Now we can take out the 4 positives that we want to take out. So we're going to take those out. And then what will our answer be? Well, if you count them up, there's negative 10. I know it's a little tedious, but I know this is a tricky part for a lot of students, and so I'm spending the time going over this chip method. Hopefully it makes a little more sense. But we'll go on in the next video to explain the subtraction property. Okay, and then our last example, we have 6 positives, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We want to take out negatives, but we don't have any, so we'll put in 4 negatives. But since we put those in, we have to put in positives to match so that we don't change our value here. Now we can do this subtraction. Now we can take out the 4 negatives. And what do we have left? Well, it's all positive and there's 10 of them. Okay, so that does that.